Hey guys. So, before we start with the reading, I'm going to take some time to make some announcements. I'm doing things a little differently for the next few days. Well, only tomorrow will be the last day, but I've been taking the time to do the zodiac signs and giving them access, everybody access to them, because Facebook has completely demonetized my business page. And I kind of had a hint of that in October, so I warned all the subscribers to move over to Patreon. There's where they will get access to the collective stories. The collective message will still be uploaded for free on YouTube and Patreon. And I'm going to try and put them on Facebook, but Facebook isn't even letting me upload videos right now. They're weird. I can't trust them anymore. They keep fucking with me too much. So if you want to support me, please make sure to follow me on Patreon. Those of you who take the time to react to my videos, comment, to share them, thank you so much, because that really does mean a lot to me, especially right now where it's a little uncertain how everything is going. I really do appreciate you. But that's why I'm doing it this way, and it's almost over. Today, right now I'm doing Leo, and then tomorrow I'm doing Virgo and Libra, and we're done with the zodiac signs, and then we will go back to our regularly scheduled program, okay? So if you have a sensitivity to high frequency sounds, please lower your volume, because I'm going to be ringing a bell just to shake up the energy a little bit. The sound bowl is like really clumsy to be moving all the time, so I got me a little bell. Okay, sorry. Ready? There, just a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and see this is kind of like a holiday reading from now up until, like, let's say around New Year's. I'll probably do more readings for New Year's, but for now, let's do these. Okay, so what is the holiday message for Leo? Holiday message for Leo. So we've got Cold Moon, number 6. Take with I the dreariest of moments. Release me for their tongue and nourish me with light. And then Father Christmas, number 13. How did thy get here? Lost perhaps? No worries at all. Gather yourself and clear the frost, for the good still lives in you, dear. All right. And ringing the bells. Hey, I just rang the bell. Cute. I'm kidding. Ringing the bells, number 30. Ring thy bell to cast them out. Ring thy bell and dance about. Swirl the sounds amidst the winds. Nowhere to hide, for all will ring. Okay. Well. Let's go ahead and read these messages that accompany these cards. Let's start with number 30, ringing the bells. Now I've got Carol of the Bells in my head. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Banishment and charging. Okay. This one says, bells and Yule go hand in hand. They're used to create music. You'll often find a Santa or two swinging one around, and bells are always attached to sleighs. They are genuinely joyous, but can be used for more than simple musical instruments. Bells also raise energy to increase rituals and the effectiveness of spells, while cleansing negative energy to drive away malicious spirits. It's essential to keep your home's energy clear all year long, but especially during the winter season, when you spend more time indoors with loved ones. Energy tends to hide in dark places and dusty corners that haven't seen a full day's sun in some time. And like your space, the soul can be full of tiny pockets of low vibrational energy that you may not realize are there. The same goes for everyday living. There could be people in your life who are full of low vibrations, but you're so used to having them in the background that you simply haven't noticed in a while. You have pulled ringing the bells because something distressing is in your life, and you are being called to banish it. It could be a person or an object or even a place. What comes to mind first that is bothering you will be the cause. Perhaps you're holding on to something from a past relationship that makes you sad. Or it could be a friend who, despite how much you love them, brings you down a little when they're around. It may not seem like a big deal, but your energy takes a hit every time you're in the presence of low vibrational company. You are being guided to slowly and lovingly banish this person or thing from your life. If it's an object, it may be time to donate or recycle it. If it's a person, it could be as simple as spending less time with this person or explaining how you feel so that they may change. As you clear this energy from your life, your vibrations will rise and call more joy to you. Okay. Number 6. All right, so this one, keywords are release, purge, resourcefulness, and nurturing. Yeah, they're definitely connected. Okay, let's see. The cold moon is a full moon that occurs in December. Like all full moons, it represents illumination and brings clarity to things that have remained hidden. Having a full understanding of your situation allows you to release what has held you back and see resources you may have missed otherwise. Now is not the time to give up. There is support and help for you. The cold moon is shining on your spread, guiding you to see how many resources you have. You may have to look in unexpected places that perhaps have escaped your notice until now, or you may need a change in perspective. You could be focused on what's wrong rather than seeing the additional pathways to success that are available to you now. All right. And then Father Christmas. Okay, so Father Christmas says, keywords for this one are, naughty and nice. Naughty and nice. Oh my goodness, Leo. What list will you be on this year? Naughty or nice? Father Christmas, Santa Claus, Old Saint Nick, even Krampus are critical figures in holiday celebrations. We know these archetypes as the jolly old man who judges whether we are worthy of gifts if you were kind-hearted, or lumps of coal if you were terrible. You may have grown up and stopped worrying about getting gifts for the holidays, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be mindful of how your energy manifests in the world. You are being guided to share a little kindness. Ask yourself, what would the best version of myself do in this situation? Keep this in mind as you go about your day and see how this simple question can dramatically shift your perspective. Kindness costs nothing, but can reward you with endless blessings. All right. Interesting. So, definitely two different cards that have to do with releasing something or someone. And Father Christmas, it could be that whoever has been around you has kind of been influencing you to not be your best self. And that's why this is coming up, because it's like you really want to think about that. You really want to think about whether you are showing up with your best self, and if not, why not? What would it do? What change would happen if you were showing up as your best self? So let's see. What is the holiday message for Leo? Okay. We start, with mistletoe. Well. We start off with mistletoe. The Child, which is the Fool card, is the Lovers, by the way. 9 of Good Cheer. 9 of Cups. The 6 of Canes, or the 6 of Swords. The Matrona, or the Empress. The King of Gifts, or the King of Pentacles. Oh, okay. That's too much. The Moon card. The 5 of Canes, or the 5 of Swords. And the 8 of Gifts. With the Queen of Canes, or the Queen of Swords. The Knight of Good Cheer, the Lightning Tree, the Ace of Canes, or Ace of Swords, Strength card, Knight of Gifts, 2 of Candles, balance. I really think, Leo, that you have been in Knight of Cups energy for some time. And you're shifting. You're stepping into the Queen of Swords energy. You stopped seeing things from a rose-tinted glasses type of life or way. And now you're seeing things, even if sometimes reality is cold, reality feels unpleasant, you're starting to step into being more comfortable with reality. Because you've had some really harsh reality checks, is what I feel. Truth has come in, and it's really shaken you to your core. But this is a Leo card, the Strength card. So I really think that you're stepping into the courageous, bold, brave part of yourself to be able to face the truth, even if it's unpleasant. But this is going to get you a lot further. It may be a slower progress, but it's solid progress. Yeah, because you're moving, you're focusing on, like, I want to be balanced. I want to do things that don't throw me off kilter. Good for you, Leo. Because I feel like this is what would happen before. you would have come across somebody that you were like, oh, there's this instant attraction, and your inner child would get so excited. There's this magic, there's this, and eventually you would end up alone because it kind of didn't, it was more about the excitement. It was more about, oh, it's cuffing season. I've got to get a boyfriend, or I've got to get a girlfriend, and I've got to be with somebody. But it was more about the excitement of being with somebody than it actually lasting. It was more about indulgence. It was more about feeling good. And you're moving on from that. It literally shows a trip because it's like, okay, packing up your inner child and let's go. We're moving away from this version of ourselves. I feel like you're stepping a lot more into loving yourself. And maybe that's why you might have in the past rushed into other connections, because you wanted to feel loved. You wanted to feel like somebody cared for you. You wanted to be held. You wanted to be cuddled. And now you're realizing, I have to reparent myself. I have to love me. I have to give me all that cuddles, the warmth, the softness that I want from other people. I have to give it to myself, because that's how I attract somebody stable. That's how I attract somebody who truly wants to invest in me. Which, you're right, that is how it happens. Now, the moon card here, I feel like you're trying to go within. You're trying to examine yourself, where these tendencies of rushing into things came from. With the 5 of Swords, this may be what you have to banish. And it's not so much about banishing someone. I think it has more to do with purging and releasing mindsets that you were possibly raised with. That voice in your head, parents don't realize that the things we tell our children, not that I have any, but the things parents tell their children end up being the voice in their head that plays over and over. So if you're constantly telling your children things like, you're stupid, you're useless, I wish I had never had you, I'd be better off without you, even though it's not done with the intention of being cruel, it turns into cruelty, because that becomes what that child constantly thinks throughout their life. It settles in their subconscious because they see their parents as an authority figure. And so if the authority figure, their caretaker, tells them this, that must be true. And I feel for you, Leo, there was something that has a lot to do with your childhood. Things that you were told as a child that now used to push you in this direction of like needing that from people, needing validation, needing love, needing affection from others. And now you're realizing, no, I've got to give that to myself. And I love that we end up with the 8 of Gifts as the last card, because this is something that you're doing daily. I love that it starts off with little and then it starts growing, because I feel like you're making small changes throughout your daily routine, throughout your daily habits. But whatever these changes are, they're putting you in a much better space. They're putting you in Empress energy. And the reason you're stepping into Empress energy is because you're starting to set boundaries. You're starting to be like, no, this is not right for me. You've gotten to the place where you know where you need to ring the bell and banish something, where you need to purge, where you need to release. And so this is great, Leo. This is amazing. Let's see. Clarify the Queen of Canes or the Queen of Swords for Leo. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. We've got the 6 of Wands. We've got the Page of Cups. We've got the Justice card, Page of Swords, and the Death card. See? 2 pages. I'm telling you, this has a lot to do with your inner child. And the Knight of Pentacles. Very good, Leo. I feel like you're learning consistency. You're learning how to build from the ground up. And this may feel, it feels a little connected to Sagittarius's reading. So you may have Sagittarius in your placements, or maybe it's just something that all the fire signs are working on. But you're definitely stepping into the energy of, I want to learn to be measured. Fire energy is beautiful. Every energy, water, air, fire, and earth, they all serve a purpose, okay? And I think that you've been very much in your fire energy. You were going whatever is passionate, whatever's fun, whatever's easy, whatever's quick. But maybe you struggled with earth energy. And I feel like you're starting to master that, because you're not showing up as a Page of Pentacles. You're showing up as a Knight of Pentacles. And that showed up twice, because that was over here too. With the Knight of Gifts, that's the Knight of Pentacles. You're showing up already starting to master the earth energy. You're starting to stop and think things through. How will this impact me? You're starting to step into the energy of what's best for my higher self? What's best for long term? How do I represent myself in the best way? Whether it's in work, or maybe you're trying to create a business, or in love, whatever it is, for yourself even. Because the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who starts watching what they eat. They start working out because they treasure the earth vessel, the body. They don't just see it as, oh, I'm just in this meat sack. No. Earth energies are like, I am living this experience at the highest and best vibration. Well, at least when they're in their highest vibration, right? So with the Six of Wands, I definitely see you like you're valuing yourself more. Not that you didn't value yourself before, because fire signs are very, you're very sure of who you are and what you want. It's not that. It's more like you're starting to say, not everything deserves my attention though. Not everything deserves my time. Because one of the things I find hilarious about fire signs is they can be petty. They're hilarious because they can be so childlike, but also childish. And I think you're stepping to the Six of Wands where you're holding yourself to a higher standard. You're having more dignity in the way you approach things. With the Page of Cups, you might even be stepping into the artistic side of yourself. Whatever it is that you've always wanted to do artistically, whether it's maybe you've always wanted to model, maybe you've always wanted to be an actress or an actor, maybe you always wanted to be a singer. You're starting to pay attention to that side of yourself. And you're being more fair with yourself. So if before you used to be like, oh my God, that's silly, I'm never gonna, pay attention to that side of myself, that's childish. Now you're being fair, like, am I any good though? If I'm good, why would I not pursue it? And if I'm not good, but that's something I'm really drawn to, why don't I just work on it? You're being more open-minded. And it's bringing about a large change in yourself. Like you're starting to appreciate yourself more because you're showing up with Empress energy, and that's amazing. Let's see. Clarify these the mistletoe, the lovers. Clarify the lovers. We've got the Six of Swords, the Four of Swords. Clarify the lovers. The World. There's a song, hold on. There's a song playing in my head, but it's like the very wisp of it. Hold on. I'm hearing something about halfway lover. Halfway lover or something like that. Oh, I can't. No, that's not. No. Oh my God, I can't think of the song. Like I can hear it, but it's okay, I'll think of it later. If I think of it later, I'll post it in the comments, but it's I'm hearing something along the lines of, if you know this song or if you know any song connected to it, it's like saying goodbye to lovers that are half in, half out, that they're sometimes in, sometimes gone, sometimes they want to be there, sometimes they don't. That's whatever this song represents. I just can't think of it. But that's what I'm getting to mind. So Six of Swords, I'm telling you, you're moving on from that. You're healing the parts of yourself that went for people who are all about the passion, the chemistry, and then once that faded, we're done. You're stepping into Saturn energy. You're stepping into like the self that is responsible, the self that makes wise, mature decisions. Good for you, Leo. Because you intuitively know that although this seemed fun, it never led you anywhere. It never built anything. You didn't have anything to show for all these experiences except experience. And you want something more tangible. Clarify the Child or the Fool. We've got the Two of Wands. The Seven of Wands. The Six of Cups. See? Nine of Cups showing up twice. It felt good. But even if it felt good, you want it to last longer. You want it to be more long term. Yes, it feels good, but then what? And that's what you're setting. That's the intention you're setting. You're being a lot more intentional about how you move forward. Maybe you're using the moon phases to set intentions for yourself and which part of your life you're going to be focusing on, because that matters, guys. If you know your natal chart and you know your rising sign, just because you're like, well, for example, yesterday we had a full moon in Gemini, right? People might say, well, I don't have Gemini in my chart. Yes, you do. You might not have a planet in that sign, but Gemini is in your chart. If you have like a Sagittarius rising, that means Gemini is in your 7th house or 6th, depending on the degree. If you have a Cancer rising, that means Gemini is in your 12th house. If you have Capricorn rising, it means it's in your 6th. So you've got to go look at your rising sign, figure out where Gemini is at, so you see which area of your life the full moon affects, or the new moon is affecting. But for the Leo I'm resonating with now, I feel like you may be doing that already. You may be looking at where the new moon and full moons fall so that you can go with the flow of the energy and start manifesting better results for yourself. Because it's like, if I want to believe in magic, if I want expectations of good things, I have to fight for it. I have to put in the work, which is very true. And again, you're doing the going back to your childhood, going back to your roots and figuring out where things started leaning this way or that way so that you can adjust it. Almost like think of it like in childhood, we are like little saplings, right? And so if we are pushed in this direction, then as we grow into an adult tree, we will stay humped over if we were pushed too much in one direction. But that's exactly what shadow work is. Imagine if you had the magical ability to go back and realize, oh, that was bent, so let me straighten it. And then when you come back, it's a lot straighter. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of what shadow work is. You're going into your childhood, you're doing the inner work. And this is great, Leo. Not everybody has the strength to do something like this. Clarify Nine of Good Cheer. I've got the Fool. The Ten of Cups and Temperance. Yeah. Look, there's a big difference between the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. And you're showing up with earth energy now. I think before you were very much in the rose-colored glasses because that's what showed up at the very beginning, remember? You were in rose-colored glasses, the Knight of Cups. But now you're like, no, I want to be the Knight of Gifts, the Knight of Pentacles. And that's what you're working on. The Knight of Cups is more about, oh, it feels great. So let's say somebody tells you, or somebody used to tell you things like, I want us to get married, or let's have a whirlwind romance. You were like, yes, because it felt like a movie. It felt great. And then when things crashed and burned, you would look back like, well, at least I had the whirlwind romance. Now you're in the energy of where you don't want the whirlwind romance. You don't want to be impulsive anymore. You want happiness, but you want it to come in a measured calm way. Because you don't want to just go off of how it feels. You want to make sure that it's actually going to last. You're tired of the short bursts of passion without anything consistent. Clarify the Six of Canes or Six of Swords. The King of Wands. Oh yeah, look at that. Leo showing up as King of Wands. Clarify the Six of Canes. Nine of Pentacles, Three of Swords. Queen of Pentacles. Hold on. Give me a second. Because I have a feeling this little heater is throwing cold air. Why do I have that feeling? Okay. That would be because I didn't actually have it on the heater. I had it on the fan. That's my fault. Okay. I'm over here blaming the little heater like it's betraying me. All right. Had to put my little blankets over me. All right. Let's continue. Now it's going to get warmer because I was like, why am I so cold? All right. My hands are freezing. So you're definitely stepping into a more confident, more assertive part of yourself. Like you're more comfortable being single. Where before, and I'm not saying you were doing anything wrong, because I feel like this is just what you had been taught. This is all you knew. Going from one lover and no, okay, let's find passion with this other one. Well, that one didn't work out. But it's like you were going seeking in others what you needed to give yourself. And now you're realizing that you're a lot more confident. You have done the work where you go into the place of taking your inner child with you. Like, no, this is, let's go for something more stable. And to be able to go for that, we have to look within. Who taught us that love has to be this way? Who taught us that love doesn't last? Who taught us that whatever it is that you were taught about love, you're addressing it. You're facing those wounds. And you know what? It's helping you become the Queen of Pentacles or the King of Pentacles, whichever one you want to be. That's excellent. That is so beautiful, Leo. Let's look at the Matrona, the Empress. Clarify the Matrona. Got the Wheel of Fortune. The Magician. And there's that Knight of Pentacles. I told you. With the High Priestess. Yeah. You're being guided. I feel like your guides are giving you these little downloads where you just know. You've gotten really good at determining what needs bells being rung and banished. What is that needs to be purged? What does it look like when you show up with your higher self? You're being a lot more consistent with that. Look, the Empress again. Because you want to be the best version of yourself. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it's time. It's time for you to be doing this. And you truly believe in yourself now. With the Magician, you're stepping into the energy of, I have all the tools I need to build my own reality. And this may be new to you, but the more you accept it, the more you're like, yeah, this is wonderful. I don't know why I believed that I wasn't in control before. I don't know why I believed that I had to do things a certain way, or maybe wait for things to develop until, somebody else wanted me, until somebody else decided I was worthy. Why was I doing that when I've been worthy all along? I've been lovable all along. That's great. That is so great, Leo. Clarify King of Gifts. Aw, look at that. The Two of Cups. That's so cute. Oh, Five of Swords. And the Knight of Cups. With the Nine of Wands. Yeah, I think that this is more, you might have been very guarded, coming from a place of, well, love hurts. Love always ends up making me feel crushed, making me feel defeated. But I think that you might have realized that the reason love ended up feeling that way It's not that love itself does that to you. It's who it is that you pick to love. And because you were picking with these rose-colored glasses, you couldn't see the red flags because, you know, they looked pretty. With the rose-colored glasses on, those red flags looked pretty. And then you would end up getting hurt. You would end up getting betrayed. You would end up like the wounded warrior. And you kept asking yourself, why? Why does that keep happening to me? And now you're realizing, oh, that's because I'm not picking King of Pentacles types. I'm picking Knight of Cups types. But I can't pick a King of Pentacles when I myself am a Knight of Cups. We don't resonate. So you start working on yourself, and you're at Knight of Pentacles, but you're working your way towards Queen of Pentacles. Good job, Leo, because that's how you resonate with someone like that. You're starting to be more practical, use more logic, more common sense. Like, it doesn't mean that passion can't exist in a connection like this, but you're being more careful about what it is that you allow to create passion within you. Like what you're attracted to is changing. If before you were attracted to a certain body type, a certain face or facial features, maybe you were focused on whether someone was fun, and you were focused on whether someone was comedic or, you know, funny. You were focused on whether this person would take you traveling, whatever it was more superficial. And now you're not attracted to that anymore. Your attraction is shifting, and you're starting to be more attracted and sexually and passionately towards people who are consistent, people who say what they mean and mean what they say, people who stand on business, people who are commitment oriented, people who are stable. Your attractions are shifting. Good for you. That means you're really doing the work. Clarify the Moon card. 10 of Wands. Ooh, there's the Moon again. Definitely doing the work. Clarify the Moon card. And the Four of Pentacles. With the Five of Wands. Yeah, this is very much about there was this polarity you had. And I've seen this. I actually have seen this. I used to have this myself, and I've seen it in other people now. Because once you work on something, you start realizing you're not the only one, right? You're not the only one that's gone through these things. You're not the only one that has these struggles. But in this case, you might have been raised with that polarity of thinking, well, if it's going to be passionate and it's going to be enjoyable, it can't be serious. It can't be commitment oriented. And if it's commitment oriented and it's stable, it's not going to be fun. Maybe because you were raised by parents who were very stable, very consistent, but they were about as fun as a stick in the mud, right? And something about that created the polarity for you that those two things cannot coexist. And now you're addressing that inner battle you have, because you're realizing this is just things you were carrying with you from your childhood. It was in your subconscious. And you weren't open to seeing anything else. You were like, no, this is the way things are. And I've seen it. People especially have this thing about, well, if I'm sexually attracted to that person, it's probably going to go to shit. And if I am not sexually attracted to them, then it'll work. It'll be stable because I don't go crazy. No, that just means you don't know how to balance your sexual energy. If you rush into sexual encounters with people, that's not because, oh, you shouldn't be sexually attracted to someone because then you can't take it slow. That means you need to learn self-control. You need to learn discipline when it comes to sexual encounters. Do the slow build-up. Because there's no such thing as, if I find them attractive, that means that they're going to be toxic for me. No, it means that you usually tend to rush with people that you're sexually attracted to, and therefore you don't get to know them well, and it goes to shit. That does not mean that sexual attraction always leads to disaster. Do you see what I'm saying? And I feel like the Leo I'm talking to now is starting to understand that. It's not that sexual desire leads to disaster. It's the lack of discipline in sexual matters that leads to disaster. Clarify Five of Canes or the Five of Swords. Five of Pentacles. There's a lot of fives, which is great. Clarify the Five of Canes. Oh, Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay. and the Nine of Wands. The Two of Swords. Okay, I'm getting two different things off of this, Leo. For some, I feel like the Queen of Pentacles might have been a mother figure or a caretaker, and you learn to interpret Queen of Pentacles energy as something negative because this Queen of Pentacles is reversed. So you might have learned to interpret this energy as negative because they showed it in its lowest frequency. So yes, maybe they were consistent. Maybe they were, they had earthy energy, but it was very low vibrational. It was more like focused on status. It was focused on how much this person makes. It was focused on what kind of car they drive and do they make you look good. And it was that type of energy. And it always made you feel lacking because maybe this person did this to you too. How much do you make? Are you Instagram worthy? Are you something that's going to make me proud, or are you going to embarrass me? And so you started reacting negatively to that. You started guarding yourself from this mentality because it was leading to self-defeating. It hurt you, basically. That's what this is about. There's a balance. And you guys know that I do shadow work, right? And so I always say this. There's a time and a place for everything. Everything. And every energy can be positive or negative, okay? So let's talk about this because this matters here. Loyalty. Everybody thinks loyalty is a great thing. But you can be loyal to the wrong people and you can do disastrous things in the name of loyalty. It can be negative when not used with wisdom and discernment. Lies. Everybody thinks lies are bad. But if your life is in danger, or if you're threatened in some way and you need to lie your way out of something, that would be a beneficial thing to do, right? Everything has a time and a place. Gaslighting. Everybody thinks gaslighting is negative, and it can be. It can be very pernicious. But if you're gaslighting yourself into thinking of yourself in a better way, of believing that your life is better than it is, romanticizing your existence, you lead to a more positive mental state. That is where gaslighting can be beneficial. So things like truth. Everybody equates truth with brutality because they've gotten to the point where they have no filter. Truth is to be used with discernment. Not everybody needs to know your business. Not everybody needs to know your emotions. Not everybody needs to know what's in your bank account. There's a time and a place even for truth, okay? So I feel like right now that's this polarity that you're starting to understand about earth energy. Earth energy about caring about our structure, caring about our body, caring about... You used to see this as really superficial. You used to look at it like, oh, people who care about that they're just superficial because the person you were raised by, or the person that you saw the most do that, maybe it was an aunt, maybe it wasn't even your mother, or maybe it was somebody that was a good friend that you were around all the time, but you started seeing it like it was really superficial because that's all you knew, and you just rejected it. And now you're realizing it has to be done a certain way. I wasn't seeing it clearly. I was very guarded against it, and it led towards me rejecting it completely. Now you're having to banish and purge the part of you that interprets it as only shallow. Now it's more, there's a balance, right? So people who say, oh, money doesn't matter, and they end up having lovers or friends who are always broke, who don't care about saving, don't care about, putting investment into themselves, into their bodies. Well, that's also a frequency, love. And if you're always in the energy of money doesn't matter, you're always going to end up with people who are taking advantage of you because you need money to survive. You need money to build. You need money to invest in yourself. And people who are constantly saying money doesn't matter means they're also going to have nothing. So you can't go to the opposite and say, well, I only hang out with people who have so much in their bank account. I only hang out with people who wear this type of brand. There's a balance. There's a balance here. And I think that you're realizing that. You want people who invest in themselves. You want it to show up upright. So you're still struggling with this a little bit, I think, even within yourself, and that's okay. The point is you're addressing it now. You don't see it as a burden anymore because it showed up as a burden before. Now it's not a burden. Now you're curious, like, okay, how about we put down the defensiveness and we examine why I was so defensive with this energy? Who taught me that this was superficial? Who taught me that this was, what energy were they in when they made me believe that this was not okay for me to do? They made it seem almost, what's the word? Mercenary. They made it seem mercenary to my eyes. And so I grew up having this negative perception of it, but I can change that perception. And you're starting to do that now. You're starting to address that. Let's look at this Eight of Pentacles. I love this for you, Leo. This is amazing. Clarify the Eight of Gifts. Look at that. The Sun card, more Leo energy. Queen of Swords. We start off with the Queen of Swords and we finish with the Queen of Swords. Clarify Eight of Pentacles. Ooh, lots of cards. Okay. The Sun card, Queen of Swords, the Empress. Yes, bitch. 10 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and the Lovers. Oh, yeah. I love it. With the 9 of Cups. Okay. So, again, 9 of Cups is not a bad energy. It's about when and where, right? Using discernment. So you're starting to step into the energy of like, okay, how, since I am a creature who is led by passion, since I am a creature who's led by my emotions, how can I make taking care of myself an enjoyable thing? Maybe your perception needs to shift on it. How can I make practical things like saving money? How can I make that an enjoyable thing? So you're starting to step into the energy of making it pleasant, because honestly, a big resistance we have towards things is that we start seeing them as punishments, because maybe that's who we dealt with before. Maybe we dealt with people who put us in that place of when something had to do with us taking care of ourselves, it led to punishment. It led to hurt. It led to anger. And so we started seeing it as a negative thing, not because that's a negative thing. Let me give you an example. Let's say that somebody's parents want them to be a master pianist, a concert pianist. And so they are forcing their child to learn the piano. But the child doesn't want to learn the piano. So every time that the lessons come around, there's physical or verbal abuse, there's psychological abuse. The child is going to hate the piano with time. Not because there's anything wrong with being a pianist or playing the piano, but because of what energy was associated with that instrument. Does that make sense? Because I feel like this is what happened with you, Leo. When it came to things that would do you good, like maybe eating your vegetables, maybe working out, maybe budgeting, finances, all of that sort, it was led by frustration. It was connected to anger and possibly abuse. And so you had this negative view of it, when in reality, it's not that those things were negative, it's the things you associated with it that were negative. So you're starting to be more discerning. That's what Queen of Swords keeps showing up. You're starting to be more discerning. And I love that the Sun card is here, because with the Empress, the way we turn into the Empress is by caring for ourselves. And that means caring for ourselves on all levels, not just, it doesn't just have to do with our mental health, although that is important, but our body, our physical body has a lot to do with our mental health. The way we eat, whether we are, in movement, whether we are connecting with Mother Earth, there's a lot of things, and you are connecting with those elements. So you're ending a cycle. And I love that, because little by little, you're investing in things that matter. You're investing in things that help you be a Queen of Pentacles. Even though I think right now your challenge is being the Queen of Pentacles, you already know what the problem is. And you're facing it. You're facing the challenge because you want the type of lover that is a King of Pentacles. And so that means you have to address your Queen of Pentacles. Unless you want a King of Pentacles reversed, and I don't think you do. You want a King of Pentacles upright, because that's what showed up. So that means you've got to turn your situation around so that you can match with that energy. Okay? And with the Eight of Pentacles here being the card we were clarifying, it's little changes that go throughout your day that will lead to major changes. Okay? If you're looking to create habits that really change your life, I highly suggest you read Atomic Habits. That book is amazing, amazing, amazing. And it helps you really look at how we create habits, why they're there, and how you can streamline them into ones that actually serve you. Okay? So that's what I got for you. I hope that you guys enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to feedback as usual. And I'm going to leave this here. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.